Using this cognitive map, they're able to then use a variety of techniques. They could be experiential, they could be insightful, they could be strictly cognitive or behavioral to attack the disorder. For example, at Oxford, there have been about 10 or 12 different disorders that have been tackled: social anxiety, chronic fatigue syndrome, hypochondriasis, panic, and so on. Each of these disorders has its own cognitive constellation. And once the cognitive constellation is pinned down, then one can get the various important techniques that are going to be useful in that. And the approach can be quite different, judging from one to another. For example, in panic disorder, our basic assumption is that people who have a panic disorder are misinterpreting various internal sensations. Now, when the patient comes into the office, the panicky patient is fairly calm. For one thing, panicky people feel much more reassured when they're in the presence of an authority, of a medical or psychological authority. So they will never feel panicky in your office. So what we have to do is we have to produce a panic attack or a semi-panic attack, get the patient then to become aware of the sensations, and at that point, when they're aware of the sensations, they can then relabel them as not a threatening disaster, not a catastrophic thing, but as something that's quite explainable in normal biological terms. But since they're in a very high affective state, the sluices for learning have been opened up, and they can then take the information in, and within a very short period of time, they have reconstructed their entire interpretation of internal sensations. Now, in contrast, somebody who's depressed doesn't have to have the depression reproduced in the office because they already are depressed. And so what one does there is to see the kind of thinking, but in the thinking of the depression is not focused on internal sensations as it is with a panic, but has to do with their own beliefs about themselves, about their future, and about their past. And so one can deal directly with the way they're interpreting their external events at that time.